It's the holiday of Shavuos. Hashem is giving us the Torah. It's very exciting, but I'm a little sick. Today we are actually making kale chips. It's 2 days before Shavuos, and I'm still under the weather. I was able to work today for a little while, but I could feel it as I was working that, okay, you're done. So, just quickly, I wanted to show you that you can see that my plants are moving, right? So when you're growing indoors, when you're growing anywhere, but especially indoors, there's 3 things plants need. They need food, water, well, I guess 4 things. Food, water, light, and exercise. And exercise is wind, but you don't have wind inside, so you have to provide a fan. Unfortunately, the little space I'm in, right above this space, and I didn't realize this when I chose this space, but it's a good thing, is this. So I've got this fan blowing, and all the plants here are getting exercise. They're all moving. They're all moving here. And these are self-pollinating, so usually this movement can sometimes pollinate, but they're getting their exercise, they're getting movement, they're not stagnant, and it's a really awesome thing. You want to make sure that you have a fan going when you are growing indoors. So I'm not feeling well, and I've got a lot of stuff to cook because it's a 3-day hog, so that means I'm not going to be, well, you know, I could theoretically cook during the hog, but it's best to prepare most of it ahead of time. So I have a list: zucchini, potato, kugel, couscous, roasted carrots, roasted zucchini, Swiss chard. I have so much of it, it's insane. I'm going to be giving some away to my daughter. There's just too much. I can't eat all of it. So Swiss chard, and I'm thinking about making a cheesecake pizza. I know. What? Yes, cheesecake pizza. Take a cheesecake base, spread it in the already cooked pizza crust, and bake it in the Betty Crocker. There she is. Do you love kale or do you hate kale? Well, I've never liked it. I only like it with lots of dressing on it. I can never eat it raw, and I've got a bunch of it that is ready for harvest and has been, and I didn't know what to do with it. These are big, flat, fresh leaves. I don't even know what variety this is, but they are going to be chips. These are going to be the biggest kale chips ever, and I'm hoping that I'm going to like them, and this will encourage me to eat the kale because I struggle with getting in the greens. And I usually get them in through a salad, but I need more greens. I know I do. I'm sick right now, and it's good to have highly nutritious foods that are dense in nutrition, especially phytonutrients. So that's what we're going to do. So here it is. I'm just going to break these off. And the key with doing kale chips is they have to be really dry. And these are, in fact, very dry. I'm not even washing them. There are no bugs. They're bug-free. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle some olive oil and some sea salt on top and bake these for about 20 minutes, and I'll test them. But these are going to be really big kale chips, and they will shrink. But these are big. These are probably the size of a large grapefruit right now. So the tips that I learned, and I don't remember where it was, but the key is it has to be dry. So if you wash your kale, it has to be really dry. And they can't be touching another leaf. So these are so large, I can only get maybe 4 on each row. So let me get some more. Let's see how big these are, like little lily pads. So all we're doing is just sprinkling on some olive oil and sea salt. That's it. And I'm going to massage it in. And with these leaves, you know that they're coated because all of the coloring when they grow, it's gone. So I know this is completely coated, which is awesome. And you won't be wasting any. It's almost like the kale is absorbing it. It's not, but it almost feels like that. And yes, I'm still sick. If I sound like it, I am. I'm still sick. And then once these are all coated, I will I'm actually going to use as much of the oil that's on here already as I can. As I'm doing this, I can see that you don't need a lot of oil. It just needs to coat enough where it's going to fry it a little bit in the oven when it gets, you know, to a good temperature, and also a place for the salt to stick. So this is a technique. I'm just discovering it with you. I like discovering new things. New hacks. This is a good hack. Super fresh kale, grown in my kitchen. Just a little bit of olive oil to coat it. And then some sea salt. Now, I'm tempted to add coconut sugar and salt, but I don't know if it will dehydrate, because I just like a little bit of sweetness with my kale. Just put a little bit. Here's the technique. Put a little bit on your parchment paper and then just rub the kale on there. And just rub it on. You won't have to waste olive oil. Now, the good news is that this kale is, the variety of kale is just this big flat leaf. It's not curly like the other kale. Not that there's anything wrong with curly kale, but this just makes it so easy to put the oil on the leaf, and it's going to be really easy to get the salt on the entire surface as well, which I like. And if this turns out, I might be planting more kale. I just don't really like it so much. I eat it because there's good nutrition in it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. So maybe I will like this. I've had kale chips that I bought at the store, and they were good. But they were also highly flavored. So I'm wondering if, I put some flavoring on the kale. would it taste like what I get in the store? Well, first I'm gonna try just salt. See how that goes. I mean, if I put coconut sugar with the salt, it's gonna have a sweet and salty taste, which would be delicious. I'm gonna do it. I have to try it. I'm gonna do some with salt and some with coconut sugar. Maybe that's gonna be too, maybe I should use regular sugar. Let me think about this. These sleeves are driving me crazy. Why is I wearing long sleeves today? Okay. My hands are full of olive oil. I don't want to take my gloves off and fix it, so, okay. All right. We are all oiled up. You can see how beautiful these leaves are. These are really, really pretty. Homegrown. Okay, so these are actually sort of oily. The first ones that I did where I poured on the oil, they're pretty oily. I think it's a better technique to just put it on the paper and then rub on the paper so it coats it, but it's not too much. So let's do this. Let's do 2 different ones, and one will just be salt, and the other will be coconut sugar and salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle on the salt. I'm putting it on both sides. This is a large surface area. This could be a big sandwich. I'm just thinking of all kinds of ideas right now. If these turn out, I could make them taste so many different ways. And no, this is not a vegan channel. I'm just growing stuff in my house and eating the stuff I'm growing. That's it. This happens to be kale. So let's put this in the oven and bake this for 20 minutes. I'll check it and see if it's crispy, and if not, I'll put it back in. So here they are. They are crunchy. They're crunchy and crispy, so I'm going to take these out and put in the sweet and salty kale chips and see how that works. These cooked for about 25 minutes. See how this turns out. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, these are very interesting. They're definitely crispy. Not a question. It's a lot of salt on that one. Didn't seem like that when I first did it, but just shake some of it off. We'll see how it tastes. This is a shavuos. I'm growing. These are coming from the ground, so all hydroponics is shavuos for the bracha. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so good. I will eat this kale. This is the easiest way to eat it. Just pick it, smear it, salt it, and bake it. This was so easy and so good. I feel so proud of myself that I'm eating something that I don't normally eat, and I found a way to eat it. By the way, that piece had a little bit too much salt on it, but it still tasted good. I'm so excited. I have a way to eat this kale now. It's been growing in my system for months, and I've been ignoring it. Once in a while, I'll take a leaf and I'll throw it in my salad, but I haven't really been eating it, so I am now a kale person. This kale, this type of kale coming from my system, that's the kind of kale I like. The coconut and sea salt kale chips. Oh, these are super crispy. You know, I think the sugar made them even more crunchy and crispy, which is very cool. Let's taste these. There might not be enough of them because just the plain salt ones were delicious, so I'm very excited. So here they are. I think I'm gonna let them cool because the sugar is sort of melted, and when it cools, it's gonna harden. I have a feeling these are gonna be dangerous. And I mean that in a good way. I know what to do with all my kale now, and I want to plant more. It grows so easily. You know, to get to this size though, it took a while. These are pretty big leaves, and it took a while to get to this. So in order to make these, it's really the end of the season. So I'd have to have several of these plants going at all times if I wanted to eat these all the time. But I'll enjoy them now. And let's see. Yeah, they're crispy. Not even a question. This one is super crispy. Oh my goodness, it's super crispy. I'm ready for this. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the crunch action? I think it's going to be crunchy. Oh my gosh. So good. Wow. Wow. That is yummy. And you know what? I don't even want another one. I'm good. Plus my appetite's kind of low right now because I'm not well. But it was really good. I'll definitely make these again. So my experiment was a success. Wow. You just never know, right? Thank you for joining me today. If you like this video and would like to see more of my experiments, please click the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future episodes. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, there are all kinds of things in the world you could look at, but the fact that you're watching this video right now, it means so much. I know how valuable energy is and time, so I just really appreciate you watching today. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon. I came back for another one. I changed my mind. I was like, I don't need any more. I was like, just one more. Yummy.